Hare Krishna, dear souls out there in the world. What we're exploring today is a mantra. Mantra simply means to free the mind, and it's a gradual process. So the best thing that we can do is be kind to ourselves and love ourselves throughout the whole process. It's a journey. So yeah, this particular mantra is described in this current age as the great mantra. My understanding is that it's great because it's been especially prescribed to cleanse the heart, clean the heart out, clean the mind out, gradually, generally speaking, and it's meant to cleanse the atmosphere as well, and that's something that I've heard as well. And I've said the story before, but a psychic happened to be witness to a group of persons who were expressing this mantra in a particular way, and the psychic must have come up to them, and the psychic said to them, and I'm just paraphrasing from memory here, when I saw you guys expressing this mantra, I could see a white halo around all of you, whereas I couldn't see that around anyone else. So that's just a visual representation of what this mantra can do, inside and also outside. And there's so much darkness in the world. And if we're really honest with ourselves, darkness within ourselves. Why do we behave the way we behave sometimes toward either everyone or certain people? Why do we think some of the things that we do? It's the darkness that we've been accumulating. The yoga and meditation texts, these ancient texts, this ancient wisdom, in other words, of ancient India explain as far as I can remember, so I'm going to say, and am aware of. So it's really down to personal taking of responsibility to clean up the mess, so to speak. And the yoga and meditation texts of ancient India, these ancient texts, this ancient wisdom, in other words, of ancient India explains that it can be done anywhere and at any time, or all the time. This mantra can be expressed. And I always encourage persons to start any way you feel most comfortable and at any pace. Otherwise, what's the point? And it's best to approach it in a way that's easy, rather than just force, and make it really hard for ourselves, in other words, to ourselves out there in the world. Then it becomes something that we associate with something negative. So yeah, that wouldn't be my approach anyway, and I wouldn't encourage that with anyone else either. Just approach it in a way that you feel most comfortable, and gradually, this mantra and the relevance that it has to your life will increase and expand, and you'll go deeper and deeper over time, and then the vision will change. In other words, your vision will change, so I'm going to say to yourselves out there in the world, your heart will change, amongst all of the material changes that happen all the time. So we'll begin with some Hare Krishna Maha Mantra meditation. And I'm going to use my hands as instruments because I have no other instruments with me. So, for those of you who don't know what this mantra is, it's comprised of 3 names, Hare Krishna and Rama, and then those 3 names are comprised and constructed into a 16-named sentence, which just goes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and I'll say it one more time. It goes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, and maybe one more time, maybe slowly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, and maybe one more time slowly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. It soothes the heart, it clears the mind of all of that gunk that is there currently, generally speaking, or at least I can say for myself, it's there, all of the gunk and the darkness. So this gradually, slowly, in other words, dear souls out there in the world, takes care of all of that and cleanses all of that away, to a point where you don't need antidepressants or antidepressants, depending on how you pronounce it. You don't need all of this medication and, so much talk therapy and all of these things that just temporarily deal with all of the issues and they just come back again, or at least that is my experience, For those of you who are currently doing those things and are on those medications, I'm not encouraging anyone to stop if you're on them, but the more you go deeper into this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, many things fade away on their own, our attachments to certain things. So it's never about forcing anything away, repressing anything. You simply express this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and over time, either quickly or over a long time, depending on how you approach this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything else fades away in terms of your attachment to everything else. Nothing like the ceiling and the walls don't fade away, but if I was trying to get any happiness from the ceiling and the wall currently, then that attachment fades away. But that can be the same with our children or our parents or our work or our hobbies, all of these things. They can still remain in our life, but our attachment to them fades away. So we'll begin with some Hare Krishna Mahamantra meditation, musical style, singing style. And like I said before, I'm going to use my hands as instruments, because I have no instruments with me. I'm sorry if I haven't said that already. There are souls out there in the world. Okay, we'll begin. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, oh Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Na Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare you all. I'm sorry again, it was a very short one. What am I trying to say? The length of time may fluctuate. I do apologize to our souls out there in the world from time to time. But whether it's long or short, what matters most is how much heart we put into it, how much sincerity, and that goes for all of us, including myself. That's really the main thing. That is what the divine energy reciprocates with, not this mechanical, robotic, which I may have done, in the past. I say may have, because I just can't remember. We remember things and we forget things. That's the nature of being a conditioned soul, as far as I'm aware. I think that's explained in the ancient yoga meditation, Wisdom of Ancient India. Please correct me if I'm wrong if you have time. If you don't, that's fine, dear soul out there in the world. Because it's all about whatever we have time for, energy for, and the capacity for, and that's all we can do as far as I'm aware. So that's about acting sincerely according to your position. Again, as far as I'm aware, yeah, and that's why what matters I meant to say most. What matters most is the heart. Because our situations, generally speaking, are always changing, or at least in my experience, they always change. Just if we like to, we could make that a goal, just to try and put more heart each day, each moment into what we're doing. Especially this Hare Krishna Mahamantra meditation. But it's a holistic practice, so everything, it's like if I were to put my heart into this Hare Krishna Mahamantra meditation, but then act very cold toward everyone, that wouldn't be very nice. There's always something to improve on, which can be exciting. I don't often think about it that way, actually, but just that opportunity to put more heart into whatever is going on for us, which can be a scary thing, at least in my experience. It can be like certain areas of our life, we all have different strengths and weaknesses, so it might be easier to put our heart into some things and harder to put our heart into other things. So just be kind to yourself. That's what I'd recommend. Love yourself as much as possible, and I am referring to all aspects of the self, body, mind, and you, soul, beyond body and mind. They all matter, even though the body and mind are matter. They still matter because if we look after them to the best of our ability, then it can become easier to focus on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra meditation. So I'll leave the session with all of us there, dear souls out there in the world. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.